Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
To prove it, and on this, we can't actually all-time 73% win rate over the 11 games he's played.
Yeah, I remember a lot of his time down the Herald, various different rosters and champions has played through it. It's really hard to step up, though, to the LEC. It's always a constant question we have of our rookies. I think with that in mind, actually, I think Chayek's done pretty well for himself, given that his expectations, I think, were considerably lower. He's had some incredible games. Potential gank coming in topside, 1-1-3, what do you got?
Skipped his entire topside for this. He knew the wave was pushing in. Nako trying to flash away. He's going to get locked up. Permafrost stuns him. And there is Burst Blood. BDS secure it.
1-1-3.
Nuke has the push in mid. Bot lane is pushed in, but with it being a 2v1 down there right now, if 1-1-3 did decide to start up this dragon, it should be pretty easy for Ice and Paris to get prior themselves.
He's doing it with his lane prior. Wow,
he's got prior,
wow. And that 113 that Specialist Finn told us about earlier. Is,
do you want to actually talk through why that is so important? Because you did talk about a pre-game or Detective Nightmare or whatever, Noir.
I've never heard of him in my life. So one of the most interesting things that Finn was talking to me about players on both these teams, Hillasang on one side and 1-1-3 on the other, is how position. I think actually Nuke and Trag both definitely on champions which want that gold to scale up in towards that late game. So plates like this could help you get there quicker. Yeah, 2
plates and a TP advantage as well, because Nuke TP'd up to the top side. Chayek still has his, so if Vitality want to make a play in the next few minutes and use that advantage, they can. Hilly's going to use the oracles here, locked up with the Glacial Prison, and Sam's dead. And that's well played by BDS. Hilly's just poking his nose in, seeing if there's something there. Lince's jumping forward as well. I think he got the smite on the Gromp, so does manage to steal it away. Yeah, but BDS kind of cheated tempo a little bit. They just had an extra man sitting there. Chayek goes in. Puts down the... Okay, no.
Oh,
no, man. No. Chayek. He dashes forward. Permafrost's going to stun him up. 1-1-3 will take him out. Lince's tries to save the day, but... Yeah, the first one, Hilly was a little bit overeager. The second one, Chayek was way too greedy.
What did he see on Fog of War there? He must have thought that was a one-person play. 2 kills would have been quite hard to get through.
Now you can look for the dive. They have a ward on the Gromp bush, so now they know that 1-1-3 is around the corner. And you can see Hilly was thinking about it, but in the end, it's called off. 16 seconds on the Drake.
Yeah, good ward coverage from Vitality, but the backs are coming at a really good time for BDS. Here comes Paris.
Paris looks for Linces, will get him in the pit, but that quickness not really doing too much. The Permafrost though on Hilly, he goes back in with 100 HP, locks up Paris, who tries to dive away. The Emperor's Survivor will lock him up. There's 2 kills already to BDS. Nako TP'd in, as has Irrelevant, but he's a mile away from the fight. In the end, BDS find 2 in the battle. Linces forced away.
Very strange series of engages coming through there. Wasn't quite clean from either side, and it meant that the fight got a little bit messy after that point. With the HP bars going over to the side of BDS, and of course the Azir being down, BDS should be able to stick around and get themselves that second dragon of the game. That starts to become a bit of a problem now for Vitality, because depending on what the Rift is, of course, and the Soul that's on it, they are going to be starting to really
right now. There's always a possibility of a kill threat after you get the Eclipse on the Ambassador, but it is Cassante, so pretty difficult to do.
Yeah. It's really when you get around to 2 items that you start ignoring your lane opponent and you just show the fear of God to the other people on the Rift. Really, Lince having to flash out just before Herald.
And Hilly walks back in! Oh, Hilly has the flash here, but he's locked up, stunned up, flashes the wall, and there goes the Arcane Storm. Oh, Hilly.
I don't understand what is happening here. They have the wards, they have the engage tools as well. They have all the information to approach these objectives, but they're giving up some real freebies. And I mean, I wish we could say it happened less from Vitality, but this has become a bit of a hallmark for the team.
Yeah, their problem is just how inconsistent they are as a lineup. And BDS's problem a bit this year has been how consistently mid they have been, right? But when the opposing team is giving you kills like this, is giving you gold advantages like this, BDS are more than capable of shutting you out of the game with this sort of advantage.
And I think particularly BDS are very comfortable when you have, you know, Vitality. I think they were ready to pull a bit of a mind game there and say, well, okay, you show up towards Dragon, you start the Atacana, see what we can do. They do have the Azir, because they're very good at, of course, taking objectives. Relevant takes a chunk there, knowing that his jungler is now on the top side of the Rift. Does mean that the Dragon is delayed a little bit, because BDS just wanted to make sure that the Atacana wasn't threatened on spawn. It's dangerous to take it on spawn, but look, Vitality have done stranger things in the past, and it could have actually worked out very well for them there. I think it's the right call.
I was also going to talk about whether you just take that trade as BDS. Yeah. It's like Vitality get the GA. I mean, actually, it is the GA. In my head, I'm like, I would take that trade in solo queue, but obviously it's not Voracious Atakan, right?
Yeah, you know,
it's Voracious not doing it.
Funnily enough, we saw our first. Well, we are going to see the Dragon start up now, so this will be soul point for BDS. They are setting up vision for the Atakan. Now, as we said, Azir takes this objective pretty well. Irrelevant on 2 items, though. With the Shred from Atakan, he might be able to ward them off by himself. You need to be a little bit careful here, Vitality.
Nuke has TP as well. Ice is going to be left behind. Solar Flare flashed away by Irrelevant. That Atakan is down to 8,000 HP. Now, Narco doing a good job of keeping BDS away, but Irrelevant's done a good enough job of distracting them that now BDS are close enough that Vitality don't think they can stick on the Voracious Atakan. And because of the positioning now for Vitality, where do BDS get to play? Well, in the mid lane. They can gate off the entirety of Vitality. Like, Vitality can't walk past this point on the map, allowing you so much free time on this mid lane tier 2. It's impossible for Vitality, really well played by BDS, to gate them out of the mid lane.
That was nice. And suddenly we're saying, oh, it's going to take a while to break down this mid lane turret. That's 2 gone now. So suddenly, when you come around to this next dragon, the mid lane, which is the most important to push, is going to be much harder to do so. BDS get themselves a pretty huge strategic advantage. Atakan is still up as well. Vitality couldn't really threaten that one.
They're going
to go back to it. I mean, there are resets coming through from BDS. How quickly can they take this? It really is about how much Chayek can put down onto it.
I'm honest, like, being honest, I think if you're BDS, don't even try. Like, what are you fighting over in the next, like, couple of minutes, right? There's no Drake, there's no Baron. Vitality can try and force for a tower, but who cares? You're going to get there late, give them the false life. Well played by Vitality to take it, but if BDS had overextended back into that, I think it would have been a big mistake.
Completely agree. Paris needs to be a little bit careful, but he's safe enough for now. And yeah, I think you're completely right. Given the pace of this game as well, it's not exploding kills. Yeah, Atakan can sometimes speed it up, but you're absolutely right. You're not giving up some huge Atakan into Baron and Soul, which is normally the killer and the gold standard for that objective.
Yeah, those false lives will expire before we get towards the Baron. Kazi cleansing away here. Naka was just trying to back in the bush. Kazi a little bit pushed up. He can play a bit more aggressively, obviously, with the false life, but BDS do still have the gold advantage. Nako forced away. The tower goes down as well, and even though the Atakan went over to Vitality, it's BDS forcing the pace of the game.
Illy just around the corner, spots that Paris. Ain't enough damage to follow up anything from this, maybe.
They've got enough CC. It's the Shield of Daybreak stun first, was so important, but Paris gets the quickness off in time. Not quite able to...
always have to with Sejuani. You can just throw out that ultimate, use your W, and then Q backwards potentially. And I think the Victor and Corki can follow up nicely enough after that point. So really, really need to see how well Vitality can get them onto the carries of BDS. I'm worried for them, given the state of the engages we've seen so far this game.
It's also the distraction pressure in the lane, a little bit more priority for Vitality as they can just clear out that wave. Bot and top are neutral, and everyone is basically in the middle of the map.
Sundisk really helps, because as we were saying, hey, push mid, put down wards. Azir has a free turret. Kind of helps with that one, keeps it upright.
Makes it a little bit easier for you. Irrelevant hiding in the bushes here. Vitality has control over the bot side vision, as you say. 113 is going to be the one who starts to step up. Kazi takes a chunk. Clean's about to come back off cooldown. Vitality might want to just wait for that. Kazi also has the red buff for about a quarter of its cooldown left, so he'll heal up a little bit before we get into the next piece of the action.
You already see that Victor poke. Really, really nasty. Yeah, there's some coming through. Of course, from the Ezreal and a little bit from the Azir as well. See if the... Oh, that True Shot Barrage definitely evens things. And Linsus going to go straight down to that Dragon alone. BDS, they don't want to force this. They don't want to go too quick.
It's one of those moments that if you lose this fight, you just delay the game a bunch. 113 goes forward. They try and lock up Chayek. Immediately, they dash back in. Public execution going out as well as Ice is ready to kill off Hillesang. It's disaster for Vitality! Look at the storm, baby! It's a Tempest from Nuke. As BDS just absolutely wipe away Vitality at the Cloud Drake.
Awesome inclement weather down in the bot side. BDS managed to get a really good play where they can get their damage stood behind their front line. Vitality get caught into the meat grinder, and suddenly you can now go towards that Baron. You can tank it for forever. Yeah, you lose the Dragon, but I don't think they'll particularly care after this point. They'll get themselves the Baron and the big number. That is the biggest number gaming right there. That's like when you load out of the ARAM and you've got like 4,000 like damage a minute, and you're like, I did good this game.
Good job, me.
I'm happy with that damage, and it's only going to get better from that. Nuke has always been, this split at least, very, very safe hands when he has been put on these late game carries. Stuff like this Victor is absolutely in his wheelhouse, and he's delivering right now.
It's not good for Linsus. 113 in Paris are waiting just around the corner. Linsus has no flash, has the cease and desist, might just go on to Irrelevant here. But Paris is there for the follow-up. Permafrost, CC lands, and down goes the Vi. BDS now have the pressure in the top side. Only one wave to work with, but Chayak should be able to clear it out as it gets up towards the tower. BDS not investing all their time on making sure this wave gets to that tower.
Vitality, various members across this game, they've tried to play the vision game, play a vision trap, catch someone out. It's just not been happening. BDS, too organized, very disciplined, and their vision control has been enough. They can start breaking inner turrets as well, and the gold is just going to keep going up.
Oh, and it's been a while since I watched that show, and it kind of jumped the shark around season 2, if I remember correctly. So
episode 24.
Or like the middle of it, yeah.
Episode 24. Just
stop. Just
Nuke
stop with that.
still so strong though, because the big thing about 10 stacks, you get the movement speed. You have Cloud Sold on the table, and then you get the extra 10% movement speed from the Magi's itself. Catching this guy who you've already not really managed to shut down with the Seekers as well that's a hard job to do.
I can't remember him flashing this game. I'm sure he has. Solar Flare just gets the tip of it. Zenith Blade going in as well, but Hylissang engages. It's like, you know he's round the corner, man. Paris goes in as well, lands the charm, is locked up with the Season Desist, but Linsas pays for it with his life. Irrelevant diving onto the backline now as well, as Kazi is limping away from this. The all-out from Nako pulls Irrelevant over the wall, and Ice is dashing forward as well with the Valkyrie. Nako, he'll be the only one to stand while the rest of his team falls. BDS now knocking on the doors of the base.
Vitality have not been able to shut down the carries of BDS. Nuke and Ice have had 3 team fights for the grand majority of the game, and they've really looked comfortable with it.
30-minute demolition, really, from BDS. They waited until they were at a powerful point of their composition. Vitality did give them a few extra money bags in the early game as Hylissang falls for the 6th time this game, but really not too much of a challenge, it seems, for BDS here in game 1. We'll see if Vitality can bounce back and make this a 3-game series, or if the way of the LEC will just continue and it will be another clean 2-0. BDS are going to go 1-0 up as Chayak falls once more, as does Linsas.
They further over to right-click on the Nexus, but hey, BDS, they took it slow and steady in that game, as is their style, and they...